You are about to enter a space of ultimate football knowledge from four guys with little to no actual football experience, except for armchair quarterbacking. Brace yourself for passion and knowledge like you have never seen. Welcome to the Football is King podcast. Here we go, and welcome into the Football is King podcast. We're here to talk all things NFL Week 8. Yeah, I said here we go before I pushed record, and I was like, you know what? That might be our new podcast intro right there. Thank you to Dak Prescott for that. We're here to talk all things NFL. It's great. It was a good weekend. It was a bit wild out there, and there's only one place to start. The wildest ending ever. Let's talk Bears Commanders. All right, my first question, because we had. Was it last week or the weekend before where Aaron Rodgers threw a Hail Mary? So the question is a Hail Mary luck or skill?
It seems like some quarterbacks are better at it than others, but it's definitely luck.
I think you need the ball to be coming in from a higher angle.
Yeah,
so that
sure.
when the ball gets tipped, it goes up compared to like far away. So I'll give you that.
Rodgers throws high.
Rodgers, and I guarantee you Russell Wilson would be really good at it.
Yep.
Because he just throws the ball 38,000 feet in the air anyway.
Straight up luck, because the dude was an idiot.
Yeah, I just think all Hail Marys are luck. And if it's skill, like the one with the Jets, it's not Aaron Rodgers' skill. It's the dude that jumps over three dudes and catches the ball. It's the wide receivers that do it great.
Yeah, at least the Jets one, it wasn't tipped up in the air. It was just a direct pitch.
He just out-jumped people and caught the ball, which is very impressive. All right, but let's talk about the actual details. Let's talk about our guy, Tyreek Stevenson. Out here, he promises he was not trash-talking the fans. He was celebrating with his own fans.
No, he was trash-talking the fans.
I was like, if that was correct, he would have noticed that his own fans were telling him to pay attention, which is just the best part of the whole thing.
He's a good player. I honestly, it's not even on him as much as it's on Eberflus. Is just an idiot.
Yeah, no, it's definitely on the coaches. I mean,
that's coaching. I'm sorry.
The last two plays are just an indictment that their coaching staff is a bunch of imbeciles. Like, you give them a free 13 yards on the out route for no reason, so that now they can actually throw it to the end zone.
And the idiot literally said, like, well, what's the difference between a 65 and a 78 yard?
Yeah.
It's like, well, there's a huge difference between those two things.
There's a huge difference, especially because your opposing quarterback apparently has hurt ribs. So,
and he was short on the throw. He was short.
Well, yes, in theory. I do think.
But if you go 13 yards to 15 yards the other way.
Yeah. He's definitely not he's not making it if they don't get the 13 yards beforehand. And then your strategy of we're just going to sit back and like not rush the passer on the Hail Mary. We're going to have a QB spy who just did nothing. I don't know what why they had a QB spy in case he decided to run.
Yeah, so this is the dumb part to me, right? You rush 3, which whatever. That you have to take 5+ seconds just to get your guys down there?
Yeah.
If you rush one extra guy and you drop one less guy, you're probably going to get a sack, most likely.
Or at least make it harder to throw the ball.
I mean, you're not going to let him step into it. Like, that's the big thing you got to do is you got to make sure that the quarterback can't step into the throw. Because most guys cannot flat foot the ball
65 yards.
65 yards. So, like, you got to make sure that he can't do the thing that he got to do, which is, like, running, start javelin it into the air.
And I agree. Like, they definitely held on the play, no doubt.
Oh, for sure. But they're never going to call that.
That wasn't the most egregious part of the play.
I guarantee you the corners were holding the wide receivers at the end, too.
It's just crazy. Tyreek Stevenson, it's like your one job is literally to stay back. And you had a guy that jumped in, tipped it up, and then got it caught.
On the 3-man rush, I also think it's fine to do the 3-man rush if you put them all on the same side of the line of scrimmage. Then it eliminates 2 of the offensive linemen. Like, you put all 3 guys You put like one in the A gap, the B gap, and the C gap, like all. If the quarterback is right-handed on the left side, so he has to scramble the opposite way that he wants to,
I can roll with that.
and then
So you have to drop every other guy if you're doing that. But having dudes stand in the middle of the field makes no sense. They have to run for 80 yards.
Yeah, it was just it was a bunch of foolishness. The game itself was actually quite horrific.
Yeah, it was very bad offense.
Everyone was excited about the number 1, number 2 quarterback situation, and Caleb Williams I thought we were going to put him out to pasture until the fourth quarter.
It was terrible. Was
really bad.
But the crazy
part, Daniels was all right. He was all right.
The Commanders actually moved the ball. They just couldn't score in the red zone.
Couldn't score a touchdown. Yeah.
Then Caleb Williams looked awful the entire game. Had 2 good drives at the end, but he looked terrible.
He looked really bad. And if anything, you would have thought it was going to be flipped because the Commanders' defense is real bad, and the Bears' defense is great.
Yeah, it was exactly.
That's the part that's fun and comical is that the Bears' defense has been the strength of their team, but then they're the ones that let them down at the end. So it's good times.
Bizarre game. It was Matt Eberflus. He's probably done.
I mean, they're gonna say that, but then the Bears are gonna have like their best record in years.
Agreed. The crazy part to me though is last year you knew you had the number 1 pick. You're bringing in a new quarterback. I feel like that's when you bring in a new coach.
Yep.
Also, you had like a kind of like historically good coaches available to get. You still do, honestly.
I mean, I obviously like the Belichicks of the world are great, or like Pete Carroll, but I don't really know. I don't really want a 70-year-old head coach.
Well, apparently Ben Johnson wants to go to Chicago. So.
It's just no way he's going in the division. No way.
That's what the story was today, was that Ben Johnson was ready to go to Chicago and they didn't fire Matt Eberflus, so he stayed.
I don't believe it. That's some journalist wrote that for clicks.
Schefter.
Some journalist wrote that for clicks. That's a Schefter.
That could be true.
Schefter gets a source who said that, who that source is his mom, and he's just gonna be like, oh, I don't release my sources.
But if you're the Bears and Ben Johnson wants to go there, I think you got to fire Eberflus because we know what Eberflus is. We don't know what Ben Johnson is, but we know he's a good offensive coordinator at the very least.
Good offensive coordinator does not mean guaranteed good head
coach.
But
we know what Eberflus is.
Oh, we know Eberflus is a bad head coach.
Exactly. So we can at least like give it a try.
Yeah, Eberflus is just in a press conference. Is just he's actually great to listen to in a press conference because that's like one of the moments where I'm like, I actually might know more than a head coach in the NFL. Like that just makes me feel good about myself. I think I might know more football than he does, and he's head coach.
He seems like a nice dude. Like watch him on Hard Knocks. Seems like a nice dude. Not a good football coach.
That's another thing. That's like the New York Giants GM. I'm like, I think I could be a better GM than he is. Like, it's just like these are things that make me feel better about myself.
Although I do like the Bears GM, I do like, but
Ryan Poles.
Yeah, I like Ryan Poles. He seems like, but you got to fire the coach.
You do got to fire the coach. Eberflus is a dummy. Oh, who's their offensive coordinator? Shane Waldron.
Yep.
He needs to be fired as well. He's very bad.
Yeah, I say all the Bears fans hate him too. So,
all right, that was that game. It was
everybody.
It was the fun game of the weekend. It broke the internet, which is great because the only reason why anyone was watching the end of that game was because all the other games had ended already. I guarantee you, no one was watching that game because the witching hour of the noon games was great.
Yeah, 100%.
And then that game still had like 5 minutes left for some reason.
Well, I thought Scott Hansen's head was going to literally explode there for a second.
Yeah.
He couldn't keep up.
No, it was. I feel like the witching hour this year has been delivering.
Yeah, it has. And it's honestly been like games that are boring for the majority of the game, and all of a sudden they start going crazy in the last 5 minutes.
Oh, I hope it delivers again this Sunday in
Shreveport. It will. The NFL will deliver on the witching hour.
Oh, yeah. The NFL, you're definitely guaranteed, right? You know, there's anywhere between 12 to 16 games per, or what, 14 to 16 games per weekend. And you're guaranteed that three of them are going to suck, but like you're also guaranteed that like eight of them are going to be won by a field goal. So
Yeah,
like they're good games.
for sure.
All right. That game we wanted to lead off with, but we'll go back to our regular scheduled program. Let's talk about all of our primetime games this week. We start all the way back Thursday night football. There was a shock. No one expected the Rams to beat the Vikings, and they beat them by 10. And it's kind of crazy that when the Rams have their two wide receivers, that they're good.
Yeah, they might be less injured now, so they might be okay.
Oof, man, Puka Nacua came off the bench from being injured and said, I want all the catches and all the yards.
Yeah, he's on my fantasy team, and I literally kept him on the bench because I was like, well, he's coming back from injury a little early, so I don't think he's going to be any good. Dude puts up 20-something points.
I saw a tweet before the game that was like, for all of my Puka Nacua fantasy owners, if you start him, he's gonna have like one catch for 2 yards, and you're gonna be like, I'm
Sure.
so dumb. Why did I start him off an injury? And if you don't, if you leave him on the bench, then he's gonna go for 203 touchdowns. And it's like,
And
yeah, that's exactly what happened.
He had like 12 catches, didn't he? I mean, it's every catch.
I was gonna say, yeah, and if you play in a full PPR league, like that's gonna be.
And Cooper Kupp didn't really do a whole lot.
Cooper Kupp did get in the end zone though on a great play, mainly by Matthew Stafford. Cooper Kupp just kind of caught it because he was wide open. Where Matthew Stafford ducks underneath he like pulls the sunshine from Remember the Titans. Just free rusher, ducks underneath him, and then finds Cooper Kupp in the back of the end zone.
The crazy part is, despite the Rams' struggles, like they're in that division.
Oh, dude, the NFC West. I don't know if anyone in the NFC West is good.
I don't either because San Francisco is not looking great.
It's a fun division to watch because everyone's in it. It's not like the AFC East where everyone is kind of in it, but it's because they all have got 2 wins. Like it's fun because any of them could win. But I don't actually know if any of those teams are good.
Yeah, agreed.
Honestly, the Rams might be the best team.
I think they probably are. They have the best coach.
Oh, I mean, yeah. Everyone loves to suck on Kyle Shanahan, but I think Shanahan's kind of a buffoon.
McVay does more with less than anyone.
For sure.
Especially with all the injuries.
Yeah, their roster is already bad, and now it's injured, and he's still got him in the hunt, so.
They're in it. They are in it.
On the Vikings. Are the Vikings on fraud watch?
I still think the Vikings are good. I think it was Thursday night.
I think they are good, but I think that they are on that. I don't really know if they.
The only thing
I don't know.
Vikings being on fraud watch is like, did anyone think the Vikings would be 5-2 after?
No. Compared to preseason expectations, the Vikings are over the moon. But now that we've watched them play, and it's like, all right, these are, Sam Darnold has put together 7 competent games. I just expect Sam Darnold to continue because he's got a pretty good sample size this season.
Darnold still played decent.
Yeah.
But he's 18-5 for 240 yards. Like, he played decent.
I feel like the Vikings are headed towards, they're definitely a playoff team, and they're going to lose in the first round of the playoffs. That's where I see them right now.
But honestly, if you asked me before the season if the Vikings were going to even be a playoff team, I would have said no.
I agree with that as well. I am actually hoping that in the NFC side of I hope all of the NFC North teams make the playoffs. I think that'd be so cool.
They're legit. That could legit.
It's very unlikely because they're gonna eliminate each other. It's like the SEC. Someone's gonna eliminate somebody just by playing each other. But
I think like
cool.
The Bears play like 6 division games in the last 7 weeks. So it's going to be tough.
Yeah.
I don't think they played.
I don't think the Bears could beat the Lions, but I think that the Bears could beat the Vikings. I'm not saying they're going to, but it's possible. I would not be shocked if the Bears beat the Vikings. I also would not be shocked if the Bears beat the Packers because Jordan Love is a turnover machine and the Bears defense is good. So if Caleb could protect the ball, I think they could win that game.
It's just one of those things where like the schedule worked out in a way that at the beginning of the season, it's like, well, all these teams have good records. But like in the end of the season, it's going to be like, well, the Bears just lost 5 of 6 because they played all their division at the end of the season.
That's definitely true. All right, let's skip ahead to Sunday Night Football. We already mentioned these teams. The Cowboys did their classic go down by a bunch of scores to the 49ers and then get a bunch of garbage time points and make it a close game.
The Cowboys are very bad.
The Cowboys are just in absolute free fall.
I don't even know what you do at this point. Dak's got paid so much money. You're stuck. I don't know what you do. You're almost in a situation.
I'll give CeeDee Lamb this. CeeDee Lamb is earning his paycheck.
He's the only one.
He had like 13 catches for 100-something yards and a touchdown. It's like, what else do you want him to do?
But the worst part about it is you never felt like the Cowboys were going to win that game. Never won.
Not at all.
Game. It ended up being a 6-point game, and you're like, they never were going to win that sucker.
No, not a chance.
So the Cowboys are bad. McCarthy's gone. I hope they hire Vrabel.
Vrabel would be such a fun fit for the Cowboys. I don't know if Vrabel will put up with all the crap, though. All the circus.
Yeah.
It's going to put up with Jerry. It's going to be Vrabel will just be like, screw you. I don't care what you say.
See, like, but it's not Jerry. It's all the other stuff. It is.
It's the entire.
We sell tickets to people can come watch us lift weights. It's because that's the thing. Like their weight room has a glass wall, and you can just like go and watch them lift if you pay the money.
Which is absolutely
5 miles that way.
Yeah, Mike Vrabel's not gonna be letting. He's not gonna like that. There's a building that overlooks the practice field where like someone could definitely film all the plays.
5 miles that way.
Oh. You know what we didn't talk about in the college football episode that like I think is huge and we should have. So quick aside, it came out today that the communication to the quarterback is not on a secured frequency, so anyone can listen to it.
Yeah, that
Belichick's just waiting to get a job.
Like
I was trying to read about that today, and I could not figure out like were team because I saw Texas Tech like submitted complaints against like Baylor and TCU. I think.
Yeah, I mean, hey. If you're not listening to the other team call plays, then you're not trying.
Well, who the heck are we hiring to make these communication devices if it's not secure? Like, what are we doing?
China. It was China.
Probably China. Always China.
All right. Sorry. That was quick aside. Back to football, to the professional football. I don't know. I don't know what to say about the Cowboys. It's just rough it's a rough watch. I think the 49ers are a rough watch right now, too. I don't really enjoy watching their games either.
I think both those teams are bad.
I think they're both kind of bad.
The 49ers are injured.
The 49ers are not that injured anymore. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, but they're 1 week. They're 1 week removed from being very injured.
They were fine. They're fine. If you're playing, you're good. They did not have Brandon Ayuk and Christian McCaffrey, and everyone else played.
Well, McCaffrey's not playing until the playoffs anyway.
McCaffrey's dead.
McCaffrey might not ever play again. He's just going to be an influencer.
He's dead. No, the Cowboys and the 49ers.
Christian McCaffrey is dead. Luke McCaffrey's out there making moves.
That was an ugly game.
Trying to.
I love that the Cowboys are like it's a pattern. Go down 3 scores in the fourth quarter, bring it back to where you think you have hope. And it makes it look like a reasonable loss.
This is the first year in probably 5 years that I've felt like before it was like, okay, the regular season, we're going to go 10-7, 10-6, whatever year it was. Now it's like, nah, we're terrible.
Yeah.
We're not going to playoffs.
Oh, you're definitely not making the playoffs.
Cowboys are terrible.
The Cowboys are
picks like it's not going out of style.
Yeah, the Cowboys are the team for all of
bad.
Cowboys are the team for all the people that don't actually watch the game and then just tweet out the stats. Where like the people who like just look at the stats would be like, the Cowboys are a good team. I don't get why they lose.
Yeah,
and it's like for those who watch the game, you just look at it and go, because all of their stats come in garbage time.
Dak's face after he throws an interception is the most infuriating thing.
Yeah, he needs to show a little passion.
He just looks like he's just dumbfounded, like something crazy happened. It's like you just threw it directly to him.
I felt like he used to be a very passionate guy, and it
Before
just like
million.
He got in. He got paid, bro.
no, but he had already been paid. He
I
got
know,
paid
but
a
now he's made. Now he's got so much money, he doesn't care. He don't
no.
have to care.
I think there's I don't know if it's with the coaching staff. There's an issue behind the scene.
There is something wrong. It
Man,
doesn't
could you
feel.
imagine if the Cowboys were the team for the in-season Hard Knocks this year? That would have been amazing.
Who is? I don't even know who it is.
I don't know. I think they're following a whole division. I think they're following the AFC North.
Yeah,
I haven't seen nothing about it.
All right, speaking of the AFC North, we got the Giants and the Steelers on prime time again. These two
Stop.
teams have been on prime time more than any other team, and I don't get it.
Let's stop.
And you know who we get this week? The Jets again.
We've we've got to start with the flex scheduling happening every single week.
I get like weeks 1 through 4, schedule their primetime games early. And then you obviously got to schedule your international games so that the teams know that they're international. Everything else needs to be from week 5 on in it can be like no set schedule. TBD, just like college football. College
College does,
football TBD's everything. You're the week that you play on Thursday needs to be planned in advance.
and Monday. I give them Monday too.
Thursday and Monday planned in advance. Everything else needs to be TBD.
If you're on Sunday, you could play at any time. Plan your schedule accordingly.
Because I'm tired of seeing the same teams on primetime every week.
We get the Jets every.
None
season.
of them are freaking fun. I mean, I think this is the Giants' third primetime game this year.
yeah. I've watched way too much.
That means that they went into the season
Giants.
thinking the Giants were going to be good.
They are so bad.
I don't know how you go into the season thinking they're going to be good. Everyone and their mother knew they were going to be terrible.
Or they're going into the season knowing that they want to watch the Giants get embarrassed.
Yeah, I think flex scheduling needs to happen. I don't care about people's travel plans. Plan your travel for Monday and Saturday and call it good.
Also, I'm sorry. I've been on a lot of planes in my lifetime. If you're getting paid millions of dollars, jet lag's not that bad.
No, it can't be.
If you fly in the day before or whatever, 2 days before, like you're good. Game day.
What's the difference between like noon and 3:30?
I've never had an issue with jet lag out like inside the country.
If you're flying from China, sure.
If you go East Coast to West Coast or vice versa, you'll get the sleep schedule can be thrown off. But like,
They won't
here's a
mess
thought:
you up during the day.
go to bed earlier.
That's my thing. Is like you're there for 2 days. Just go to bed when you like. Keep your clock the same.
Yeah,
And
keep your clock the same.
You're there for 2 days. You're not
Yeah.
there for a week.
And you're supposed to be better than us. You're the best specimens of human beings on planet Earth, and you can't handle a 3-hour time change.
You're telling me the clock is beating you? That's crazy.
Now I understand going to like London.
Yeah,
That's a big difference.
you
I
should.
understand that. That's
Yeah.
fine.
But
I'll let that one slide.
like every year, like the Jags this year, whatever, they got to stay in London. So then they were acclimated, and the team that always stays behind always wins. It's just a guarantee.
Yeah, if you want to win betting that game, you just bet the team that got there earlier.
Yeah, but then like, I'm sorry, you went from New York to Los Angeles, and
Rough life.
all of a sudden you forgot how to throw a football. Like, I just don't get it.
Go to bed at 8 instead of 11, brother.
That's
Yeah.
some soft. That's soft, is what that is, and we cannot have soft in our NFL.
I do not understand that at all.
All right, let's skip ahead to our Sunday games. Our noon slate did the worst thing ever where they had like 9 games at noon, which is just not fun. It's just too much.
That's another complaint. Can we even out the noon and 4 o'clock games?
Yeah. Oh, actually, now that you say that, how many noon games do we have this weekend? Three. There's 8 noon games.
And what, three?
8 and 4.
8-4.
That's a bummer. Like 8 noon games, that's too much for me to keep an eye on. I can't do it.
I don't understand that. If they even it out a little bit, people would see a lot more of each game.
Or you gotta like stagger it a little bit.
That could be the other problem I have with is the 4 o'clock games end up being like you see the Chargers, the Cardinals.
Yeah,
Oh,
you see all the West Coast teams.
nobody cares to watch the Chargers. Nobody cares to watch the Cardinals.
Oh,
No,
I'll disagree with you on that. ESPN loves to watch the Chargers. They got Harbaugh. Oh, he's the greatest coach ever.
game
They
you can
got
watch.
just did you know that Justin Herbert is 10 times better than Tom Brady and Peyton Manning combined? He's the savior to all of football.
Well, him and Harbaugh probably win 10 Super Bowls.
Yep. Well, no, Harbaugh pooped his pants on the sideline, so
I legit think they should
Facts.
even that out a little bit. Probably they should do about 6-5 or whatever it is, whatever the
yeah,
number.
they're just trying to help the West Coast teams or the West Coast fans.
But we get stuck seeing all those games.
Yep. I mean, that's why everyone always says that the 3 o'clock slate, like most of the games, are terrible.
The problem I have with it is living in Atlanta. So let's say the Falcons have the noon game.
Yeah.
You only get the Falcons game at noon, so you don't get to see any other games. Then when you get to the 4 o'clock slot, because you watch only the Falcons game, you get two of those games. Well, those two games suck.
Yeah.
So what? So
Well,
you just
and
watch three sucky games.
I know like a lot of people talk about like they love like the 3 o'clock time slots when they take a nap.
Yeah, that's when I take a nap normally.
So
But if you live in a place where you get two noon games, you might get two good games. Then the 3 o'clock, you get the game of the week or whatever, so you get to watch that one game. But that
yeah.
game be good.
And, I mean, I really just hate. I mean, the witching hour is so fun,
Yeah, it was fun this week.
but I mean, most weeks it's fun, but it's also annoying because a lot of times those games are good for the whole game, not
Yeah,
just the end of the game. And it would be great to be able to watch those games instead of watching the sludge that was. I don't remember the Chargers played someone horrible this
the
week.
4 o'clock window this week was terrible.
Chiefs game was pretty good.
I didn't see. I was watching Red Zone. I didn't watch one bit of the Chiefs game.
Yeah, the Chiefs game was actually pretty close the whole time. The Panthers Broncos, what a great game that was.
Boo,
The Saints Chargers,
boo.
that score was like 8-2 at one point. I was like, that's fun.
Yeah.
I do appreciate that.
Wasn't it 3-2, and then somehow it got to
It-
5 or
it was
8-2
Yeah, it was 3-2 and then like
or
5-2,
9-2,
9-2. All right, let's go through those games quickly. The Eagles absolutely kicked the Bengals' butt. It was kind of like watching Texas A&M play LSU, where just Eagles were too physical and the Bengals couldn't take it.
Jalen Hurts looked good for the first time in a while.
Jalen Hurts, I believe, is now 3 weeks in a row without a turnover. So
Yeah. Looked very good. Sirianni's trying to save his job there.
yeah, the trying to fire Sirianni chants have gotten quieter.
Yep.
I still think that you should fire him at the end of the season because he is not a good head coach.
Probably, and you have a good roster, so
Yeah. The Eagles are healthy, which definitely helps. They weren't healthy at the beginning of the year. Having Devontae Smith and AJ Brown
Devontae
back
Smith-
is huge.
crazy. Like he's the tiniest dude that is so good.
Yep. I mean, he's got his heir is currently at Alabama because Ryan Williams isn't a big dude either.
Oh yeah, he'll be the next one.
160 pounds soaking wet.
All right. Joe Burrow after the game in his press conference talking about how they're 3-5, I think, right now. So he was doing the math on how to make the playoffs because a reporter asked him if he thought they could make the playoffs. And
They gotta-
they got to win 7 out of 9. is
Yeah.
his theory,
And he said they could do it.
and he says they could do it.
Their
Do
defense
we
is,
think the Bengals are going to win 7 out of 9?
it's not Joe Burrow's fault. Their defense is terrible.
They didn't play great this game. They scored
Oh, they did.
17 points.
Agreed.
Well, dude,
And the Eagles' defense is bad.
after this week, they're going to have to win 7 out of 8 because the Raiders are winning this week, baby. Let's go.
I don't know about
It honestly is actually possible.
Possible.
I'll put my money on the Bengals.
Well, you can shove it.
I thought about this being maybe one of my little sprinkles for a little Raiders money line.
Raiders, let's go, baby.
Do I get a good enough value on this? Plus 285? Maybe. The Bengals just can't block.
They're bad. I mean, they're
And
bad.
the Raiders can rush the passer. And you never know when Gardner Minshew's going to have one of his games. And
Hey, he's due.
And the Bengals defense is very bad. Like, this is one of those games where it's actually like I could see it being the Bengals win by 20 plus points.
What the
It
heck?
could be an absolute butt kicking, but I could also see the Raiders winning by 14. Both of those are like very possible. So it's
What the heck happened to their defense?
they put all of their money into the offensive side of the ball, so they couldn't pay Jesse Bates and they couldn't pay DJ Reader,
Hey,
and like they just
Jesse
couldn't pay
Bates-
everybody.
Good football player.
Jesse Bates is a great football player. DJ Reader is a great football player. And newsflash to all our Bengals listeners out there: number one, I hate you. Number two, it's going to get worse because now they're going to lose both their defensive ends.
Yeah,
They can't afford to pay them.
They gone.
They're gone. All right. The big shock of the day was that the Browns beat the Ravens, but who was shocked? I mean, Jameis is starting at quarterback. We knew something fun was going to happen.
Hey, that pregame speech. Come on, you knew he was
Dude.
winning.
I mean, post game, he's quoting Eminem.
And then pregame, he was like, he just said, "This is the day the Lord has made. This is the day for the Cleveland Browns," or whatever he was saying. All right, Jameis, and he won. I mean, he won.
I did like someone said that
Weird
Jameis should be the game show host for every game show on television. And I was like, that would be electric. He would be a great game show host.
He's going to be a great analyst one day.
No, there's no way they're giving him a job as an analyst.
The things he would say on TV would be outrageous.
Who would sound more drunk in the studio, Jameis Winston or Tony Romo?
But they're totally sober. That's the crazy.
No, Tony Romo is definitely not sober.
They're
Jameis,
just
sober.
weird freaking human beings.
And Troy Aikman is also, he's not drunk, but he's on something. Troy Aikman has the reddest eyes on planet Earth.
Oh, he's smoking a little ganja.
He's on pain pills, too.
That poor man or that poor woman that was interviewing Jameis when he kept just saying, "This is the day the Lord has made," and she just did not know how to respond.
This is the day the Lord has made.
Um,
And he just kept looking at her like crazy, like, "I'm serious."
Jameis should have thrown 5 interceptions in this game. The Bengals, not the Bengals, the Ravens could not catch the ball. Kyle Hamilton's dropped pick
Yes,
is
that long
just
game.
like, I mean, the Ravens honestly should have won this game by 2 touchdowns, but they literally dropped 3 legitimate interceptions that were just right in their chest. And then, like, Rashad Bateman dropped a 70-yard bomb because the sun was right in his eyes. Like, it was just a bad luck game for the Ravens that happens.
Football is such a crazy game because literally Hamilton drops the pick that's right in his hands.
Yeah.
The next play, Jameis throws this 45-yard touchdown pass to win the game.
It's a Blake Gideon, Michael Crabtree situation
Exactly.
all over again.
Football is a crazy game.
Shout out Blake Gideon from Leander High School.
Rest in peace.
He's not dead. Pretty sure he's a coach
He's
at the University
coaching.
of Texas.
Oh, nice. Good for him.
I think he left Texas.
Oh, never mind. At one point in time, he was a coach at the University of Texas.
Let's see where he's a coach at now.
He also has one of the funniest. There was one of the funniest stories.
No, he's still
ever.
at Texas safety.
Yeah, he's still
That's
at
what I
Texas.
thought. I thought he was still at
He's a
Texas.
safeties coach.
Oh, he's a whoa. I mean, good for Texas. I was like, he's a legacy guy that they're just keeping on staff.
You know what the saddest thing is? If you Google Blake Gideon, the third suggestion is Blake Gideon dropped interception.
Yes.
I mean, that's definitely
was-
what he's known for.
Oh, it was definitely obvious too.
But he was the first 4-year starter at the University of Texas to play every single game. He never got hurt in college. He played every single game of his career.
White secondary.
White secondary, baby.
Hmm.
Leander alum. Let's
No,
go.
there's a difference. He was a
Did
safety.
lose
He is
that-
not a corner. There is a difference.
Did lose a national championship for the University of Texas.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I got in trouble for making fun of it the next day. Well worth it.
Well, lost the national championship for the University of Texas, which I'm happy about now. Was not happy about in the moment.
I guess the only other thing to talk about that happened this week with this game was that the Ravens traded for Deontay Johnson, which doesn't really make sense because the Ravens' offense is not their problem. Their defense is their problem. So I was a little baffled by that.
That's one of those things where you just make a trade just so your fans can be like, oh, we made a trade for this guy.
But just like, if I'm a Ravens fan, I'm like, give me defense. They need corners bad. They can't cover anybody. Oh my gosh, what happened?
Mookie Betts.
I looked down and I looked back up and if the Yankees are going to lose the World Series, I love that they're going to lose it in New York. That's a good time right there.
The New York fans are going to be impressed. Mookie Betts.
All right, let's talk about the weirdest game of the weekend. The Lions scored 52 points and had less than 100 yards passing in an NFL football game, which is.
Did they really? I didn't even know that.
Oh, did you not look at anything about this game?
I mean, I was on Red Zone most of the weekend, so I did not.
So you probably saw the Lions a lot. Basically,
He threw for 85 yards.
Basically, the Lions started every single drive on the Titans' 25-yard line.
No joke.
So there was like 2 turnovers from the Titans that made them start on. This game was 14-14 at one point, and it finished 52-14.
I mean, Jahmyr Gibbs he was averaging 12 yards a carry.
So Jahmyr Gibbs had one 70-yard run for a touchdown. That was their only long drive.
So he had 11 up for 127.
Yeah, and then their punt returner had over 195 yards returning and had a punt return for a touchdown. I think it was a 90-yard punt return for a touchdown. And then, if you look at the drive chart from this game, it was wild. It was like 3 plays, 25 yards, touchdown. 2 plays, 12 yards, touchdown. They just started every single drive in the red zone because their special teams and defense did great.
Yeah, I totally did not see this game because I did see it was 14-14 at one point, and then suddenly it was 40-something to 14, and I was like,
yeah. It got ugly in a hurry. So, here you go. Here are
yards. Touchdown, 1 play, 70 yards. Touchdown, 3 plays, 25 yards. Touchdown, 4 plays, 12 yards. That is the funniest drive chart.
No, you stopped. It kept going. The next one is 7 plays, 22 yards. And that made it 35-14 at half.
That is the funniest thing.
Then their next touchdown was punt return touchdown. Then 3 plays, 26 yards touchdown. And then they had one drive of 8 plays, 48 yards for a field goal. So I think they had 4 touchdown drives that were less than 30 yards. They just started in the red zone basically on every possession.
That is hilarious.
Yeah, it was a wild game. The Titans are they're bad. I liked listening to Pardon My Take's debate on who is the worst team in the NFL currently. And to me, it's not a debate. The Panthers, and it's not close.
Yes.
But the second worst team, that's a fun debate.
Oh, my fantasy team, I keep playing whoever is playing the Titans on defense.
Oh, yeah, you do one of those. Just pick up.
Titans because Will Levis will throw a pick six.
I've been
Oh,
picking up
okay.
anyone that plays
I
the
was like,
Raiders because
I
we
thought
throw interceptions.
you were saying it the other way because I was like, the Titans' defense is really good, actually.
No, you pick
You pick the defense of whoever's playing the
Right.
Titans.
Yeah.
Facts.
Yeah, Mason Rudolph also turned the ball. Will Levis didn't even play. It was Mason Rudolph, and he threw a bunch of picks.
Well, whoever it is going to throw a lot of picks.
Yep. All right. Other games that happened. The Dolphins lost to the Cardinals, even though that Tua came back.
I'm going to give the Dolphins a pass on this one.
They looked better.
They look good. They look decent. They should have won that game.
Their defense finally didn't show up.
Yeah, the defense did not look good. The other thing is Tua's first game back. So I see all these Dolphins fans wanting Mike McDaniel's job. I'm like, dude, you lose your franchise quarterback the first 2 weeks of the season. You can't jump off that quick.
You can with all of the other problems that they've had.
But it's crazy because they look competent with Tua on offense.
They look competent until they play a good football team.
But
last year, they were one of the best teams in the NFL because their schedule was so weak. And then every time they played a good team, they lost by double digits.
Yeah, it's true.
I think that, yes, if they were like a very good team last year and then this year they suck because they lost Tua, you would not be calling for McDaniel's head. But based off of last year where you couldn't beat anybody that was good, they're like the Denver Broncos this season. The Denver Broncos are 5-3, so everyone's like, wow, no one would have expected that. Denver is beating all the sucky teams and then getting embarrassed by all the good teams right now. That's what's happening.
I think you got to let the season play out though and see what the Dolphins are doing with Tua at quarterback. He finally slid for once in his life.
Yeah. My problem with the Dolphins from this game was
he's been told to slide, right?
All of a sudden, like Tyreek Hill, and it looked like the offense cared again, and that I don't like that.
That's a problem.
That's a problem. That's a coaching issue.
But also with Tyreek, it's like whoever's playing quarterback besides Tua cannot throw the ball past about -4 yards.
Yeah, but like Tyreek's whole thing is the catch and run. I mean, he's a good deep threat, but he's also a great catch and run guy.
Passes will be screenplays, so you're kind of screwed.
Yeah. All right. I think my favorite game of the weekend was that the Patriots beat the Jets because all the Jets people beginning of the year they were just on the train, going to be the greatest team ever. And then, we got Devontae. We're going to fix all of our problems. And then they lose to the Patriots, as is tradition. And it was just fun.
The Jets are dead.
And I mean, not only did they lose to the Patriots, they lost to the Patriots with Jacoby Brissett because Drake May got concussed.
What are the Jets like? What'd they do? Something's wrong there.
They got a 41-year-old quarterback coming off an Achilles who's not very good.
They're a cursed franchise.
Also, we've said this a lot. Their defense is not that good.
No. People act like they're very good. They're not that good.
Nothing brought me more joy this weekend than the game-winning play for the Patriots came against Sauce Gardner. I loved it.
Yeah, Sauce was good for about 1 year. Does not look so good anymore.
Sauce is only good if the refs don't throw flags because he holds like crazy.
The Jets, if you're a Jets fan, you must be the most dejected person of all time, though.
I didn't realize because I'm not a big, I obviously don't have the ability to watch all like the morning shows on Monday morning because I'm at work.
You're teaching the youth.
I'm teaching the youth, but I'll like look at them on YouTube or whatever during my lunch break. I didn't realize that basically everyone on Get Up either played for or coached the Jets or was a fan of the Jets. But watching Get Up be just so sad and pissed off on Monday morning is Greeny's doing the sad. Rex Ryan looks like he's ready to like smash a Microsoft Office tablet on the sideline with Tom Brady style.
Rex Ryan wants a job.
Yeah, Rex Ryan wants a job. Damian Woody or whatever his name is also just furious. He's always like, they're embarrassing. Like, I'm just like, it's great. It's a good watch.
But the funny part about that is the Jets have never like made anyone proud.
No.
They've always been bad.
I mean, I am a little concerned that Fireman Ed is going to quit again.
The fact that I didn't realize he quit the first time, that's crazy. That's bad fan behavior.
Do we think this weekend that the two Yankees guys will be at the Jets game? They'll get like front row seats.
You think they're Giants fans or Jets fans?
I think they're Jets fans.
I kind of think the Mets and Jets go together, and the
The
Giants.
Mets and Jets do go together, but I just think that the Giants have been so bad for forever.
My coworker from New York is a Mets Giants fan, and I keep telling him that doesn't sound right.
No, it's wrong. You're Mets and Jets. That's how you do it.
Should be Yankees, Giants, Mets, Jets.
Nah, Yankees fans shouldn't be football fans. If you're a Yankees fan, just baseball is your life.
Baseball is the only thing you care about.
It's the only
Yankees
thing you care about.
group of fans in the
I feel
world.
like Boston fans have to do that too. You're either a Red Sox fan
No.
or a Patriot fan.
No,
You
Boston
can't choose
is
both.
no, Boston is definitely Red Sox Patriots all the way because the now they won't be in a few years because the Patriots are going to continue to suck. But like, you just got to be the most insufferable franchise ever when you had the Celtics, Red Sox, and Patriots
Yeah.
all being good at the same time.
Everybody
You just win a championship every like 2 years.
Yeah. All right, let's talk next about the Falcons beat the Bucks. These two teams, every game, I feel like, not just when they play each other, but I feel like the Falcons and the Buccaneers, all of their games this season have just been high scoring bangers.
It was a banger.
Like these are your two perfect over teams, I feel like.
Yeah. I mean, the division is basically settled at this point because the Falcons won both the games against the Bucks.
Oh, watch out for the Saints.
The Saints are god awful.
Watch out for the Saints.
They are terrible.
They're getting Derek Carr back.
They're terrible.
They're just fun games. Like I just feel like every time they play, they're gonna hit the over, and it's gonna be a good time.
Yeah, this division's always good for that a little bit.
And I mean, this weekend, I think that they could both hit their overs again. The Falcons play the Cowboys. So, I mean, Bijan's going to have 200 yards and 3 touchdowns, but also Dak Prescott's going to throw for 303 touchdowns.
Bijan's good.
Four
Now-
picks, but like the Falcons versus Cowboys has like 42 to 35 written all over it.
Oh, for sure.
And then the Bucks play the Chiefs. And
That one has under to me.
see, I really think that I think that the Chiefs, everyone's talking about how bad the offense is, but they're scoring 28 points a game.
That one-
And
Under to me all over just because it seems like a weird game.
I don't know. I see that as like a 28-21, and I don't see that line being set over 50.
No.
It's set at 45 and a half, and I see that game at like 28-21, Bucks covering the overhits. But maybe not. I don't know.
I'd agree with that.
All right, next up, we had the Packers beat the Jags. Jordan Love gets hurt again, but apparently he's going to play this weekend.
Yeah, that sucks for my fantasy team.
Is Malik Willis good?
Hey, he may not be good, but he's definitely bought himself a second contract somewhere.
Yeah. Like,
He'll go somewhere else and suck.
is Malik Willis the Marcel Reed of the NFL?
That's a very good comparison.
I mean, Marcel Reed's undefeated. He hasn't looked great in every game. In some games, he has looked great. In other games, he has looked bad, but we're undefeated. Malik Willis is not undefeated. I do believe they lost one game when he was playing, but
They won every game.
they won every game. Never mind. They are the same person.
Yeah, Jordan Love has lost every game. He lost every game until last week. I think Malik Willis, he's not good, but he will get a second contract out of it.
Okay, but
Somebody's gonna
does Malik Willis fit Matt LaFleur's system better, like Marcel Reed fits Colin Klein's system better?
I think Matt LaFleur's system fits just about any quarterback that plays for him.
Okay. So no QB controversy in Green Bay.
No.
All right, let's say Jordan Love plays the rest of the games and he does all right. And it's a must-win game. End of the year. You got to
There-
win to get into the playoffs. Do you throw in undefeated Malik Willis and just see what happens?
No, because I think you already paid Jordan Love. Also, they're going to be firmly in the playoffs regardless.
Debatable, but yeah.
Jordan Love, Jordan Love, even in the games they've lost, hasn't looked bad. He still throws for 400 yards.
Yeah, but that's just because I feel like they just throw the ball like crazy.
I think LaFleur's system is just quarterback friendly regardless.
It is quarterback friendly. And the Packers defense is actually like forcing a bunch of turnovers. So the Packers are frisky.
I would agree with that.
All right. Let's get to our second big segment of the day. And this one got me pretty heated and got a lot of sports media heated. Our last game in the noon slate was Anthony Richardson giving himself, taking him out of the game.
That was crazy.
Against the Texans.
I'm happy they decided to bench him today.
Yeah. Pat McAfee is catching some slack because he was animated about it. He was pissed.
That was crazy.
You just don't do it. You don't do
Have you ever
that.
seen that happen?
I get it if it was like a play where it's just like a wild back and forth and you ran for like a bajillion yards behind the line of scrimmage and then you took like just a big shot at the end of it where you just get the breath knocked out of you and you just need a second. But honestly, I feel like most coaches like you're just like, hey, I need a second, and they're just gonna call timeout, give you 2 minutes, and then you're fine.
I've never seen that happen.
But I mean, like Pat McAfee accused him of faking injuries last season. Like it got bad. It got wild on ESPN.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean,
I've never seen a
I'm
quarterback.
passionate about the Colts, man.
I've never seen a quarterback check themselves out of a game because they were
Yeah,
tired.
that's crazy.
Yeah,
And
it was.
if anything, you have to lie about it and be like, "Oh, I felt a tweak or something like that."
Yeah,
Lie. You admitted that you felt tired.
it was.
Not a good look.
It was a bold choice for sure. It's one of those that honesty is not always the best policy.
No.
Sometimes maybe little white lies can be good in a press conference as a professional
wasn't
football player.
3 of 15 or something like that at the time.
I mean, he's approaching Jamarcus Russell completion percentage. So
he's also bad, so there's that too.
It's not good.
If he was 14 of 15 for 175 yards and checked himself out of the game for a play, I'd be like, okay, he's just dumb.
Yeah.
He's bad.
I do think that Anthony Richardson might be the dumbest quarterback in the like. He might just be a big dumb.
Yeah, he's up there. He admitted to being tired. Like,
yeah. And surely someone from the Colts PR team was like, "Hey, you like beforehand, like we know that you checked yourself out, but you can't say it. Don't say it.
Don't say
Never.
that.
Say equipment failure, like something was wrong with one of my cleats."
Yeah,
my face mask, like lie about something.
Please lie. I would love for you to lie in that situation.
And it was third down in like an important area of the field. It's just like, ooh.
It's a bad look all the way.
But you know what? I like to think that Anthony Richardson did it for the NFL because the NFL will be better with Joe Flacco in it.
Well, Joe Flacco's in. Joe Flacco's kids are like 15 years old, and he's in.
You got to think like Joe Flacco probably saw him do that, and in the back of his mind, this old man's like, "The fuck did he just do?"
Well, I can't believe they didn't get a delay of game penalty because if I'm Joe Flacco, I'm just sitting there over on the bench, no helmet.
Yeah, headset in.
And then all of a sudden they're like, go, 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 go. It's like, oh crap, where's my helmet? Where's all the things? Like
you see wide receivers like after they run like a 50-yard route, it's incomplete. They're like, "Oh, come get me."
Yeah,
I've never seen a quarterback do that. Never.
No, dude, you don't do it.
Yeah, You
Never.
Like Pat said, you're a franchise quarterback. You
The
don't.
only time you see a quarterback like take himself out is like after like a big hit, but it's because they're hurt and they like need
Yeah.
like it's not. I'm winded.
Crazy.
Well,
Like
it's
you're how old? He's how old?
well.
It's like-
See, that's the thing. He's 22. That's. I mean, really, people are starting to call out like his commitment, and also he's supposed to be like the most athletic QB in football.
Yeah, no. Nope.
And I
Listen,
rewatched.
RIP, but it sounds like a lot like Haskins.
I rewatched the play. He didn't even run that far.
I know.
No.
I was gonna. So I didn't see that game, and I just heard that this happened. So I went and rewatched the play just to see how far he ran. When he got tackled, I was expecting him to break that tackle and continue running.
Yeah, it was just like, oh, all right.
He ran.
This game also had some interesting things that happened for like playoff implications. The Texans get the win. They don't really look great again because that's just what the Texans keep doing.
They keep
Stephon Diggs tears his ACL.
They need Nico Collins back bad.
Nico Collins is injured. Tank Dell got shot, so I mean, who knows how good he. But like the Texans, like the Diggs injury comes at like the worst possible time because everyone's already like all the contenders in the AFC have already traded for the wide receivers.
Yeah. We
Like
haven't
the
had
Ravens got Deontay Johnson, the Bills went and got Amari Cooper, the Chiefs went and got DeAndre Hopkins, and it's just like I don't know who else is on the chopping block for them to go replace Diggs.
There's nobody. But if they can get Nico Collins back, they'd probably be all right.
Nico Collins is huge for their offense, so that will be interesting to see. All right, let's move to the 3:30 slate. We'll fly through these like we do every week because the 3:30 slate sucks pretty much every week. Except for the Raiders Chiefs game was a good game this week. The Saints play the Chargers. We already talked about that game. It was terrible. Ladd McConkey played well. That was fun.
I picked him up on my fantasy team this week just in case. I'm
Uh,
lad to watch.
Did Spencer Rattler play quarterback? Who put no, but he got benched.
Yeah, I
I think
believe
he got
so.
benched to the quarterback that Jake Haney. What's his name? I don't even know the guy's name.
Jake Hayner.
Jake Hayner.
San Diego State or San Jose State, I believe.
I don't know. He's not good. I can tell you that.
He's not.
Also,
Yeah.
Ladd McConkey is my boss's nephew, I believe. So I'm back on Ladd McConkey's watch.
There you go. You know who else is not good? Spencer Rattler. He's bad.
Yeah, not good. He looked okay for about 1 week.
He looks good when he like runs. I feel like that's if you're a rookie quarterback, that's the like all the quarterbacks that are being the most successful. Like honestly, like Bo Nix he doesn't look great, but he's winning games because he just takes off if his first read isn't there.
Exactly.
Um,
That's college football.
Drake May, has looked decent, and then he just takes off. Jaden Daniels obviously can run. Caleb kind of scrambles around, but like Caleb's trying to like do it all with his arm, and that's why he hasn't looked great.
Caleb scrambles to throw, whereas the rest scramble to run.
Yeah, and it's like they just keep the chains moving, but really they're not that good, and eventually they're gonna need to be able to throw the ball, and then they can. Let's see the next game. We had the Bills Seahawks.
Seahawks suck.
Seahawks suck without DK Metcalf for sure.
Yeah. Another boring game.
I loved that after this game, the Seahawks players were calling out the 12th man that copyrighted from A&M, so that was fun. Saying that like they weren't
fake 12th man.
Fake 12th man, and that they weren't doing a good job. So I was a fan of that. I think I watch a lot of the Bills just to look at the competition, and I don't get why the center of their offense is not James Cook.
They didn't run him at all this week.
James Cook should be he's so good. He should be the center of their offense. And I think that he would just make Josh Allen unstoppable.
The only thing is, well, he did have 111 yards rushing. They didn't need him this week either. They won by 20.
No. Yeah, I mean the Seahawks kept turning the ball over. It was problematic. All right, the Panthers played the Broncos. No one cares about the Panthers.
The Panthers are dead.
Panthers are dead, and the Broncos beat another bad team, so everyone can say that Bo Nix is great, even though he's probably not.
They're dead.
Then the Chiefs beat the Raiders, and it was a close game as always. The Raiders always play them close. I thought this was Patrick Mahomes' best game this season by far, not close. And people are going to look at the stats and say that he didn't have that good a game. I think they were 13 for 15 on third down. Like,
what's crazy? I was watching Red Zone. I did not see a single snap of this game.
I didn't get to watch it. I was driving back from Leander. But Barry Williamson and I had a conversation at church about this game.
There you go.
And Barry said, I'm a little worried. You guys always play us close. And I said, that's what your son says all the time. But I don't think you guys have anything to worry about. Our offense is atrocious.
Hey, you covered the spread again.
The Williamsons love to fake worry.
No, it's not. Okay, but Jonathan's over here saying that their offense is atrocious, which I agree with it. However, they scored the most points that the Chiefs have given up all year. Like,
yeah, which is crazy.
Like the Chiefs.
I didn't watch it, so I don't know how it happened.
Gardner had one of those games. I mean, he was on it. The Chiefs couldn't cover Jacoby Myers. Now, on that note, the Chiefs are down to their fifth string corner. So Jacoby Myers was feasting on some rookie that I don't even know where he got drafted. I don't even know if he was drafted. He might have been an undrafted free agent.
I got really excited when you sent that text that said this is how the Raiders win. They come down and they score.
Oh, that game was guaranteed.
I looked at the play-by-play, and then I was able.
It was a fumble.
I literally get the text. I'm driving. I tap on my phone to pull up the play-by-play, and as I click on the play-by-play, it says Chiefs ball.
Yeah,
they're in.
Yeah, like I sent that text in the fourth quarter because the Raiders were gonna get the ball down 7, and I was like, I can already see this going because they've done it before, where they drive down and they score and then they go for 2, and then immediately afterwards Gardner Minshew fumbled, and I was like, thank goodness, because then. But then of course the Chiefs did their thing where they get the ball to start in the red zone. And they kick a field goal. The Raiders did the most ugly thing. I'm glad, Jonathan, you weren't watching this because you would have probably thrown your phone through a wall. They started on the Chiefs' 3-yard line, and they scored 0 points. They ran the ball 4 straight times at the Chiefs and got like no yards. And then on I think it was like 4th and goal from the 1. And they did that classic, we're going to run the ball sideways thing. And the Chiefs like stopped them at like the 7-yard line. It was like a -6-yard run on 4th and goal from the 1. I was like, that's good right there.
I love when coaches do that.
Yeah. I just don't get the anti-QB sneak thing that we got going. Why are we just not QB sneaking 4 times?
Yeah, as Tim Wall said this week, inch by inch.
Seriously, if
little do you know, after 4 inches, you turn the ball over and you lose the game. But
if you get
you're at the 1-yard line, you can do inch by inch.
If you get 1st and goal from the 3, it should be 4 consecutive QB sneaks because you're never going to go backwards. Worst case scenario, you're going to get tackled at the same yard line. Best case scenario, you're going to gain a yard.
And worst case scenario, they'll have the ball at their own inch line.
Brock Bowers was still a monster in this game, by the way. Brock Bowers is fun to watch.
The Raiders might have the all-white team.
Yeah,
Gardner Minshew.
You know what? I think you bring up a great point here.
Trying to do that.
I think that we might have to question the Davises on some racism.
Yeah, they love
We're gonna know for sure if they like trade for Cooper DeJean in the offseason, then we know.
Panda
No,
Express.
we got rid of Hunter Renfro.
Yeah, but he's not a corner. You need that white corner to let us know that it's for real.
Oh yeah, if we did get a white corner, we would be under investigation pretty quick.
Yeah.
For sure. Title IX.
And then the big news that came out this week, the Chiefs traded for Josh Uche, got another pass rusher, which I was also kind of shocked with that move. But I mean, I'll take it.
Chiefs do what they do.
It's just we like during this game we lost another two corners to injury. So like we're literally like I don't even know the names of the guys that were just pulling off the practice squad that are playing. So I figured we would maybe trade for like Tre'Davious White is apparently up for trade. So I thought maybe we might bring in like Trey White, but I guess we're going with the if we've got two good pass rushers and Chris Jones on the inside, that we don't need to cover him for very long. We just need to get to the quarterback,
Fair. It's fair.
which the Raiders did a great job of getting after Patrick Mahomes on Sunday. Max Crosby's still a beast. I love watching him play, except for when he plays the Chiefs.
He's mean.
He was being a little bit of a bitch on Sunday. It's very anti-Max Crosby.
He's earned it a little bit because he plays for the worst team in the NFL.
Yeah, no, he was just like
He's a good player on he's the best player on a team.
Yeah, he was just kind of whining at like the Chiefs players over nothing a lot, and I was like, "What are we doing, Max?"
But
Like,
he's probably frustrated as all.
Oh, I'm sure, but it's just not his persona. If he was like, if he was sitting there like, I'm gonna kill you because he was mad, that's fine. But like the whining just wasn't a good look.
I feel bad for the guy.
God bless him though, because he's loyal.
I do too. He should come play for the Chiefs.
He is
play
loyal
for a championship-winning team.
Didn't he say Raiders tattoo? Like I'm staying here.
Yeah, he's off the trade block apparently.
He is loyal.
Like he literally went on a podcast last week and was like, I don't know how many times I have to say it.
Yeah.
I would rather retire than leave the Raiders organization.
Which is crazy. So good.
All right. As we record this, we are entering the bottom of the ninth.
Yep.
Yankees are currently losing. They got the bottom of their lineup up to bat.
Shit, I should probably turn it back on.
No, all three of them are gonna strike out. This is gonna be over so quick.
Oh man, I'm gonna turn it back on anyways.
That's my call. My call is that all three are gonna strike out, and this is gonna be over.
Oh, Aaron Judge will strike out for sure.
Well, Aaron Judge isn't gonna come up the plate, so
okay.
It starts with Volpe, and I don't know who comes up next. But
well, Volpe might hit a homer.
That's true. Oh, that'd be great if we got some extra innings. I love some free baseball. And I'm sorry to our listeners, but you're not going to get to hear how it ends because that was all the football games. And we're not going to sit here and commentate the next 30 minutes that is the bottom of the ninth because that would be a nightmare. But we appreciate y'all tuning in. Sorry for the late episodes this week. We promise we'll do better next week. We will be telling plenty of stories of our trip to Shreveport as a podcast. Please wish us all the luck, and we're going to steal all the money from Shreveport. It's going to be great.
We're robbing Shreveport.
We are going to hit the state of Louisiana worse than a hurricane, and so that's our plan.
Let's go.
That's the plan. So thank y'all for listening in and for the likes and subscribes and all the things. We will see y'all next week on the Football is King podcast.